Hello. Welcome again to AlanWright.tv. I'm Alan Wright, and this is the warning public announcements section of my website. Today is March 23rd, Monday, and I've decided that this will be the last posting that I do under this warning label. And the reason is it's upsetting to the woman that I live with, and I'm afraid that she is representative of most of you out there. You don't really want to hear this, and probably it'll get taken down off of YouTube and my website anyway, because I'm going to entitle it Zombie Apocalypse. People will think I'm trying to instill fear or some kind of a conspiracy theory, a bad thing. But I'm very concerned about you, and I think you need to hear the truth. I think that a lot of people out there don't give you enough credit, and they want to keep you from panicking and having fear. And certainly that's an issue. But the real title of this video is a mathematical thing, just like the worry about all the hospital scares and all that they're doing, which are very real, by the way. But I want to talk about what nobody else out there is talking about. Fear plus panic, they're very bad things. And they're talking about this public health issue from that point of view. And they don't want you to hear about this. But I want to talk about fear plus panic minus food. What do I mean by that? Well, it equals zombie apocalypse. And what's that? It's not like it is in the movies. It's not about the undead, except in the sense that they're not dead yet. There will be a lot of death in this country, the United States, of course, and around the world, in the next few months. Most certainly. Much, much, much more than they're going to tell you. But what I have to tell you right now is mostly about us here in the United States. Okay? The hospital crisis is real, and you need to deal with it, and of course all the attention's being going to this issue of trying to flatten a curve, which is not a curve at all. It's a spike. And it's a spike because of one man, Donald J. Trump. And yes, I am putting it on him. But I'm also putting it on all those that stand under him and prop him up in this fake democracy. 60 million people or so still support the man and the idiocy of his leadership. The proper response to this COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, this coronavirus, was what they did in Wuhan. They stopped it. They stopped it. They didn't curb it. They stopped it. We didn't do that. And it wasn't China's fault. It was that man in the White House's fault. And the people, the toadies around him, which allow him to still do what he still doesn't believe, that this is going to go past a few days or possibly a couple of weeks. The man is totally incompetent. Now, that having been said, let me tell you what you can do about it. One of the things the woman I live with always tells me is, so what? What can we do about it? Well, I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. And it's a very simple thing and it can be very effective. This isn't a democratic virus. It doesn't respond to democracy. It doesn't respond to nice. It doesn't respond to church-going bullshit. What it responds to is mathematics, science, logic. There's a simple social thing that you can do. And I'm going to explain it this way. This has to be a short video. I don't think my camera can handle it. I'm not sure I can. So I'm going to make this short and simple. There was a social phenomenon, a movie. You can all find it on Prime or Netflix, and it was called 6 Degrees of Separation. You've heard of it. You think it's kind of a joke about Kevin Bacon or somebody. But it's not. There are only 6 people, basically, separating you and President Trump. For example, and there's many other uses of the concept. But if you, and I'm talking about you, call, communicate, text, get on all your social networking, and talk to everybody you know, Some of those people can talk to someone who can talk to President Trump, or they can talk to the people that can deal with President Trump. Okay? Now that's not inordinate. I'm not talking about calling your Congress people because they're toadies, they're inept, they're paralyzed, they don't know what to do. They're dealing with short-term issues and their own safety in many cases, and certainly their own wealth. What you can do, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to tell them if you want to hear it. You're not getting leadership, folk, you're getting management. Even the wonderful things that Mr. Cuomo is saying about New York and their need for a hospital and all the creative things they're doing. Nice things, good things, but they're not adequate. They're maybe going to help in the short run with the hospital issues, and maybe they'll save a lot of lives. That's a good thing. But in the end, this is much bigger, and I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. The real problem is going to happen in April and May. Probably, it's hard to say exactly when, but it will happen in April or May, for sure, is those people that live in the big cities, and I'm talking cities with millions, okay? Truck drivers get the virus, and they're going to get it in a bad way. I taught lots of truck drivers. People don't think teachers know anything. And I have to tell you, I know a lot of teachers who don't. But nevertheless, I taught a lot of truck drivers. I know what we're dealing with. Truck drivers are going to get the virus, and I know why, but I'm not going to go into it here. I don't have time. But the point of it is, you can believe it or not, truck drivers are going to get the virus in the tens of thousands, if not a million or more. When they do, the deliveries, the supply chain, if you will, is going to break down. These big cities, New York, Chicago, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Seattle, many, many more, they're not going to get food to the people quarantining. It ain't going to happen. And do you think those folks are just going to sit around and say, oh, I'm hungry, but I have to sit here on my couch and I don't know what to do? No, they're going to want to feed their children, feed themselves, and when they can't get it in the stores, panic, fear. Panic plus fear minus food equals zombie apocalypse. That's when it becomes more mob-like, frenetic. That's when it gets really dangerous. That's the issue we're facing, and it has to be stopped now or it's going to be too late. I've been there. I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you that we need leadership at the very top that has the courage to say, I'm not worried about re-election. I need to stop this and stop it now. It's probably going to take the military as it is now to stop it. Military coming home from abroad. We have military in 150 countries. We're going to probably need these truck drivers and the military trucks. Because I'm telling you folks, it's going to happen. Fear plus panic minus food. That's mathematics too. It's an algorithm, if you will. Plug it in, do what you do. Now, democracy is a fake in this country. We've been manipulated for a long, long time by the elite, and life is pretty comfy and pretty cozy, but you've been living off what we've stolen from many other countries. That's why those soldiers are in 150 countries. We've got it pretty good in this country, and it's pretty cozy, and you're pretty ignorant. Trust me, I know lots about the public school system, more than you would ever imagine. And you have no idea what you don't know. And it's not what you know, it's not what you don't know, it's what you don't know that you don't know. You don't realize what you don't know that's going to kill you. Zombify you. Folks, I'm not trying to make life harder. I'm trying to tell you we can get through this, but you need to get together with your circle of influence, the people that you know. And you have to get people to make all these young people who think they're invulnerable, and all these older people that I don't know what's going on in their heads. But you've got to get this leadership in this country working for you in ways that make sense. And that means we're going to have to deal with the priorities. Right now it's politics. Now I'm going to stop my counter, but I'm going to run out. My camera's going to stop in about a minute or two because of heat. And I'm not going to do a second edition of this. I'm tired of it. You better hear me. It's as simple as that. If you hear this video, and you probably won't, by the way, because they're going to take it down, but you need to contact, through your circle of influence, other people that get it. And you need to deal with the leadership, and they need to take immediate action and shut it all down. You're not going to save the economy. You're not going to save Wall Street. You're not going to save the Fed. You're not going to save other central banks. You're not going to save the current system. It's going to take leadership and rebuilding. Now, it can happen relatively quickly if you get the right people doing it and aggregating it out. People, we have the smart people in the country, but nobody's listening to them. You've got to deal with this idiot in the White House. You just have to. You don't get to not to and make it through this very well. And the toadies all around him that are afraid, they're afraid of him. They're afraid of him. Now he is dangerous, people. He is. But he's the emperor with no clothes. He was a phony when he went in the White House. He's a phony now. He just is. He's a con man. And he fooled a lot of people, and he still is fooling a lot of people. You have to forget the formality of procedure and get this man out of the White House. Now. Immediately. You don't have time to wait. Now, I'm not talking about violence. There are methodologies and people that know how to do that. And you can contact them, but you have to wake up and make it clear to them that this has to happen. And you can do that all with the social media, your telephones, your texting. We have the means in the modern world right now and the technology to do this right. But you're listening to the wrong people. Politicians can't solve this. The nation's split down the middle on this whole Democrat-Republican thing. And that was their goal in the first place. Keep you, divide and conquer. Well, it'll zombify you. And it's almost there. And this is my last warning to you. I'm not going to make any more videos like this. If I can't get this out and get you to take action, I can't do it. Okay? I can't do it. So there's your answer, Barbara. So what? Get on your phone, get on your textbook, tell people that this is going to happen. But if you're worried about your friendship or what they'll think of you, or if you're overreacting and all that, well, vote for Trump if you ever get a chance to do that again. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I'm just a teacher. An old 72-year-old white teacher nobody's going to listen to. But you better listen. That's all I can do to help you. This is my contribution. Take action. Now, I know how to do this. I will help anybody that wants it. I know exactly how to keep the transportation system going and the food chain going. But and so do lots of other people. Okay? But they're not in charge. You need to deal with who's in charge, and you need to do it quickly. There you go, folks. Sorry, it's the truth. The hospital system's not going to save us. They can only help. You're putting all your marbles in one basket. Yes, it's a health issue, but it's becoming a social issue and a life and death issue, not just in the sense of hospitals. Hospitals aren't going to be able to do it. They just aren't. Better get on it. Adios. Tucson, Arizona.